Summer routines live or die by how easy they are, and honestly, if something takes too much effort, I'm out. That's why Grüns is my go-to. It's my one daily pack of gummies covering my greens, vitamins, and minerals. Plus, it has 6 grams of prebiotic fiber, which is more than 2 cups of broccoli. No mixing powders, no giant pills, no hassle. I just rip open the pack and I'm done. They taste good and they make it easy to stay on top of my health, even when life gets busy. Save up to 52% with the code PODCAST at Grüns.co. That's code PODCAST at GRUNS.co.
At Metro, the best deal in wireless is on. Switch to Metro and get 1 full Amazon Prime membership included every month. Plus, get 2 free phones from top brands like Samsung and LG with huge HD screens. All with 2 lines for just $90. That's the best deal in wireless, only at Metro. Plus sales tax and activation fee. Requires port-in of eligible number not currently active on T-Mobile network or active on Metro in past 90 days. Limit 4 per account or household. Offer subject to change. Offer valid for new Amazon Prime members. Amazon Prime has a $12.99 per month value. Restrictions apply. See store for details and terms and conditions.
Welcome back to TalkNorth.com. Thank you for listening. If you can, please download before you listen. It helps our business. I'd also like to thank our producer, Brandon Morton, and let you know if you'd like to sponsor this program or any of the programs on the network. You can reach me at jsouhan47@gmail.com. Welcome to Dulono's Pizza, downtown Minneapolis, 118 North 4th Street. They also have a location in Woodbury. We do our live shows here at the Russo-Souhan Show, TalkNorth.com, at Dulono's Pizza in downtown Minneapolis. Huge delivery area as well if you can't make it to one of these places. We love the pizza. We'll tell you more about the business as we go forward. I have to say this is a historic show. Michael Russo gave me something. How long have I known you?
13 wonderful
14 years. Michael Russo gave me something. I'm not going to use it. I'm going to frame it. He's going to charge me for the autograph, but it's still going to be better than anything else he's ever given me.
Do you remember?
I'm very excited about.
Do you remember
this.
where we first met? I remember.
Wasn't it during the interview process?
Yeah,
we went
yeah.
to that little restaurant.
Yeah,
the Greek restaurant over there.
Was it like Atlas?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just had that recollection. Yeah, and I still came.
You did, and you met me, and you still came to Minnesota.
And what's really funny is that my sports editor at the Sun Sentinel was a guy named Brian White that you were really good friends with.
Yes.
And here I am, kind of interviewing to leave there. Actually, full disclosure, it was just to come here and get. It was to get a raise at the Sun Sentinel. 14 years later, I'm living in Minnesota.
That's what happened to me.
Yeah.
I interviewed here in 1990 to get a raise from the Dallas Morning News, and they made me a good offer, so I just came.
It is funny, like in the newspaper industry, the only way to get raises is to essentially threaten to leave. So I fly to Minnesota, come for the interview process, get offered the job, and next thing I know, a week later, I'm in a middle seat flying back to Minnesota, about to have a panic attack. And I walked into
That's so unusual for you.
Yeah. I walked into the Sun Sentinel. I'm like, here's what it'll take to keep me. And next thing I know, they're like, all right, nice knowing you. And so that's honestly what happened. But you and I met at this restaurant, had lunch, and next thing I know, we're doing a podcast. Who knew?
It was such an easy meeting for me, too, because I didn't have to talk.
Could you imagine?
I just said, hi, Michael, and I got up and left. I came back. I ate. I didn't have to do anything.
Could you imagine in 2005 that if I said to you, Jim, here's what's going to happen, is in 13 years, you and I are going to be we're going to have Facebook accounts, Twitter accounts, we're going to blog and do a podcast. What would you have said?
Well,
what are any of those four
As you
things?
know, about 10 years ago, I was telling people I would never do any of these things.
Yes,
so
I know.
I'm a liar.
Yep, and now you just spam me on Facebook. It just
Yes, I
drives me
do.
Crazy.
Absolutely. By the way, for those who were here last, 2 weeks ago when we did our last live show, I got to admit, we take some pride in doing pretty good shows, but that might have been the worst show we've ever done.
The one at Dulono's 2
weeks ago?
Yeah.
That was probably the worst show we've ever done together. And
you were terrible.
And you're not supposed to steal the punchline. I was going to say, you're terrible.
No.
I thought you were terrible.
Where it got off to a bad start is when you took your mic off and it started like rubbing up against your shirt.
But I only did that because I was trying to save the show,
Yeah.
because you were just a nervous wreck. You're sitting there sweating the entire time.
No, I never sweat.
When you came to my place last week to do the show,
Oh yeah, that was sweating.
you were a puddle.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in any kind of good way, if it could possibly be made in a good way.
But the funniest thing is I showed up there. I was like in the middle of like a 5-mile walk, and I show up there in the middle, and the first thing I do is grab a coffee. And then as I'm leaving to continue my 5-mile walk, like most people grab a bottled water, I grabbed another coffee. And then I'm like, I got to the Stone Arch Bridge, and honestly, I was like could not figure out why I was just absolutely dripping, and it was because I was like
It's a mystery.
drinking this scalding coffee while I was on a walk. So.
Thanks to Dulono's Pizza for hosting. We really enjoy this place. They have bubble hockey, which is like my favorite game of all time. They have a jukebox, which is a big deal for me. A lot of big screen TVs, a lot of space in the bar area. There's more space in the other room if they need it. Great pizza, great drinks. Michael Russo is buying everybody here tonight the first drink. This is a cool thing.
Yeah.
I can't even make fun of you for that. That's a cool thing. Appreciate you doing it.
Yeah, the big reason is that Vicky and Clyde last time they were here told me that you get Delta extra points if you use your Delta Amex here. So I'm like, wow, you know what? You get like a couple thousand points. So.
Also,
No,
go ahead.
No. I was going to say something I definitely shouldn't have.
oh, those are the best.
Yeah.
Do it.
No, definitely not.
All right.
I'll ask Jared for permission if I could say it.
Okay. We also have
What's that? Yeah.
that's a very good point. Are you in sales?
Good point.
You're in sales, aren't you?
Yeah.
We also have some of the old school T-shirts up here. I'm just trying to get rid of them, people. Just wash your car with them. Take them. Have some business cards if you know anybody who wants to sponsor the network. Also have some bumper stickers like Vicky is modeling for you right here that are kind of cool. You can put it on the back of your laptop, put it on your car window, on your car, wherever you like. Grab those if you get a chance. Thanks again to Dulono's. Thanks to our other sponsors, Twill and the Edina Galleria, Whizkids.tech, our newest sponsor on the program, which is a Minneapolis company that can help you with the cloud, with all IT, all the stuff I don't know anything about. Fixology Repair, John Hedges is here from fixologyrepair.com, and Tony Hoaglund, your State Farm agent in Champlin, who's going to do he's going to bring a bunch of his buddies for a hockey fantasy draft to one of our upcoming shows.
Awesome.
So
Very
he's
cool.
going to show up. He always shows up to our shows.
Speaking of Delta,
Yeah.
are we still on that subject or no?
Sure. Whatever you
Were
want.
you done with the sponsors?
Sure. Yeah.
So I don't know why this just popped in my head. So the other day I flew in from South Bend, Indiana, and I have this this tendency. Some would think it's kind of like
Tendency is such a nice word.
yeah. Some would think it's a little bit overboard on the points hoarding. But I have this thing that you know on Delta that when you get to the gate, if you don't get your bag within 20 minutes, you get 25 extra points. Did everybody know this? This isn't just like an elite member thing. This is anybody. So
even you little people, even you
people that sit
some
back in
points.
steerage could get this. And so I have this thing where the second that gate comes out, I set the timer on my phone, and Delta has gotten really good at making sure that it gets in like within the 20 minutes. So it's unbelievable. But I knew that I landed at the end of the B terminal, so it would take some poor baggage handler just a lot of work to get it within that 20 minutes. So I set it up, and I am not kidding you. It was like 1950. I was filling out the form on Delta, waiting for that beeper to go off on my phone, and the second it did, I hit submit, and the second it did, I saw the bag come down the thing, but I got the 2,500 points. So, and if you fly from South Bend, you only get 500 Delta miles, so like I got 5 times the miles just by my bag being 20 minutes and 15 seconds, so fist bump.
Was that the worst fist bump of all time? I think that was the worst fist bump of all time.
Well, we're two sports writers.
Good point. It's kind of like golfers trying to high five. They always miss. We will, I promise, get to hockey. I absolutely promise we will get to hockey. But one of my favorite Russo things is in the off season, he gets obsessed. He goes online and he buys pickles.
Yeah.
He buys candles.
Yeah.
What are you buying now?
Well, I'm like a 0 for like 10 on Instagram purchases that have actually worked out. Where it's like every time you go on Instagram and you get these ads and they're like, wow, that'd be cool. Remember when I bought the wooden watch?
Wooden watch? You bought a wooden watch and then you honestly, realized you had 2 other watches you liked better.
Well, and then the wooden watch came and it was like honestly like this big. It was like It was like ridiculous. So I'm on a roll lately, and but I don't know.
What is that?
It's a billfold. I've never had a billfold before, but I thought it was gonna be like this soft leather when you saw it on there. Mm-hmm. I guess getting 2 for $40 didn't clue me in that it's like cardboard, but it's kind of nice, right?
There's no way that holds all the money you have.
No, it's
that's the problem.
And like you really have to jam your credit cards in there, so that's bad. And then I just bought a bunch of socks today. Yeah. 18 of them.
18 socks?
Yeah. Well, I need new dress socks.
All right.
Kind of go through the.
One of the weeks we are not doing a show here. We're going to take you out to Twill. We're going to do a show at Twill. We're going to have Scott Dayton hook you up with some clothes that.
How about 18 socks for $55?
You ain't going to get that. You're going to get socks that you don't. You're going to get socks that you don't have to go buy 18 more of in 2 weeks because they're going to disintegrate when you wash them. That's what we're going to do.
Yes.
And I always mention Twill, Edina Galleria, easy place to shop, and by the way, we have 2 Marys who couldn't come tonight. One because of car trouble, one because of work. Thank you, Marys, for being interested. We'll see you out here sometime soon. Mary O'Neill, and then MJ, who follows me on Twitter and comes to the Cheryl Reeve show as well. Anyway, we always talk about what Twill offers for men, but it's also a great place for women to shop for men's birthdays and everything else. I recommend it highly. Go to twillmn.com or check out Twill on Instagram for gift ideas for Michael Russo.
Jim usually doesn't like to shop for clothes. I don't like it when he shops for clothes either, because he used to buy stuff I'd want to throw out. That's why I'm so glad he's found Twill in the Edina Galleria. He likes shopping there because of the comfortable environment and the friendly staff. He finds clothes that actually fit him properly and are high-quality brands that will look great for years, whether he's golfing or working. Our favorites so far are Peter Millar, Johnny O, and Barber. We spend our money at Twill because we love the clothes and we love the no-pressure shopping. Drop by Twill in the Edina Galleria for the best shopping experience and best clothes you'll find in the Twin Cities.
All right, let's get to hockey. What's the number one hockey topic you want to get to?
Ryan Suter's skating. Yep. I called him the other day. Actually, I texted him, and he called me back. He was going to church, and he texted me back Sunday right before my flight. And he said that he'd been just putzing around really on the ice the last couple weeks at his hockey camp. He had done a Warrior hockey kind of thing as well, but really starting to ramp it up now. And so, in his mind, he's going to be ready by training camp and be the Ryan Suter of old. And if that's the case, that's huge because, as you know, the Wild really we're in kind of a status. We're in a sort of a stalemate this summer in terms of in terms of really what to do with a guy like Brodin. And really worried that this guy was going to ever play again. So at least right now, everything looks like it's fine. Again, it's this is somebody that had a major injury that a lot of NHLers don't get, a lot of professional athletes don't get, and so far he's convinced that he's going to be ready for the beginning of camp. My guess is that he'll conveniently not be part of Boudreau's skating drill on day one, nor should he, and will probably miss a lot of the preseason games. But I know the Wild are really happy with the reports that he's getting right now. But it's still early in the game, and we'll see if it can continue here.
One other thing to mention about Dulono's, they now have a $12.99 lunch buffet that includes pretty much everything you can want. You know more about that.
Yep. Yeah, I came for it the other day, actually. It was absolutely awesome. They've got unbelievable salad bar. They just added, you said, fried chicken. And subs and pizza and all sorts of stuff, desserts, stuff that I really shouldn't eat. But anyway, it's absolutely awesome. So, and that's Monday to Friday.
And they also have great happy hours here, including when we do the shows. We start the shows at 5:30, so you can take advantage of the happy hour if you get here. And we will be putting out the dates of our next show probably in about 2 weeks. We'll put that out on social media as soon as we know, which hopefully will be sometime tonight.
We'll check with Vicky, see what her schedule looks like, and then give you the time that the date of the next podcast.
You might have thought you were giving Vicky some grief there, but she just nodded and said, yes, that's the way the world works. Exactly. That's what we're going to do. We'll have a meeting.
I like how Vicky snuck in on Twitter yesterday. She was talking to Kyle, or was it Kyle or no, Luke? Yeah, and Vicky snuck in, so you and I said, I don't know why they didn't have it on Tuesday this week. So you knew that we saw that.
We'll have a meeting.
Yeah,
I promise we'll have a meeting. Okay, I'm going to ask you one of those impossible questions that we ask in the off season because it's stuff to talk about. If you had to guess right now, how many minutes a game is Suter going to play if he stays healthy?
I think still 25, 26 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, that's still low for him, but a lot of it depends on Sealer, and if looks like he did last year, I think that Bruce Boudreau and Bob Woods will really feel confident to be in a position where they could kind of roll 3 defense pairs and try to limit his minutes a bit, but we'll see. I mean, Ryan, he's going to want to play.
Yes. What's up with Eric Staal?
Staal right now getting ready for camp. No extension talks right now. They're going to wait until in season to talk to him. I think that's Paul Fenton's wish to get his own eyes on him and see how good he is, but also see how good the team is, because Eric Staal is somebody that in the last year of his contract could get a significant piece or pieces back at the trade deadline to a contender if the Wild aren't in it, and you could theoretically re-sign him next summer if you want to. So I think that after seeing what happened with Koivu, I think they'd like to just at least be patient in this situation, and so they're going to wait in season.
And
per sources,
another one of those ridiculous offseason questions: do you see him being able to sustain what he did last year at all?
Well, I mean, I look, it's a lot. Brian, thanks for coming. Appreciate it. So I think that I wouldn't hold on somebody like Eric Staal after what he's done the last couple of years here. I would not take anything away from him. But 42 goals is a lot of goals for anybody in this league these days, let alone somebody that's just a year older and is soon to be mid-30s here. But I think that he's still going to be a good player. I mentioned this. I was with Boudreau at the airport, coincidentally going to the draft, chat with him there, and we happened to run into Eric Staal.
Really?
And Eric and his whole family, the brothers and the wives were all going to Scottsdale for a golf outing, and I just honestly, like I said to Boudreau right there, I'm like, the guy looks like he's 25 years old. It's crazy. How well of shape he keeps in. It's like the fountain of youth. He looks young, and so I think he's not going to just come back here and suddenly become old. But look, if he gets continued minutes that he's getting, he's playing with good players like Granlund and Zucker, he's going to get his.
How many? Anybody have an abacus? How many name drops we had in that last little bit? Was it like 4 or 5? Anybody
starting
run
with
out of
Brian.
fingers, pull off your shoes and count toes? That was pretty good. Yeah, starting with Brian, absolutely. What's your guess as far as Wild lines as of today?
Zucker, Granlund, and Staal. Staal in the middle, obviously. Parise, Koivu, and either Niederreiter or Greenway. If Greenway makes the team, Boudreau is going to start him on that line and see if he can play right wing. Third line will be Greenway and/or Niederreiter with Eriksson, Ek, and Coyle, and the last line will be Foligno with Eric Fehr and JT Brown / Hendricks. So those will be the lines if they're healthy, at least to start camp. Defense pairs will be really depending on Suter's health, but it'll be Suter and I guess Dumba. Maybe ends up being Spurgeon, but it'll start with Dumba. Brodin and Spurgeon and/or Dumba, then Sealer and Patterin, and then the so-called fourth defense pair in camp will be Prosser and Olofsson. That's an educated guess.
I know these things can be hard to measure and they change, but what do you feel like Boudreau's relationship with Suter and Parise is?
Well, Suter, I think he's real tight with, and I mean, like you said, things can change, but I think all three are just coming into this season really intent on on kind of picking up where the three of them left off. I mean, remember, Suter was playing great hockey when he got hurt. Parise was playing the best hockey, frankly, I mean, since early in his Wild career. At 12 goals from March 1st to April 2nd. He had 3 goals in all 3 playoff games that he played. And that's what Boudreau's hoping from Zach is to, pick up where he left off. And if he can, that'd be an unbelievable coup.
How's Bruce's mood?
Bruce's mood right now is good, other than I chatted with him also right after I talked to Suter that day at the South Bend airport, and Bruce was, what is the deal with all your colleagues picking us to miss the playoffs? So, I mean, he's getting a little perturbed at the lack of respect that they're getting, but, look, I mean, Bruce should be used to that. That just seems to always be kind of the case that Minnesota is, and yet at the end of the year, every time Bruce coaches, he's coached a team to over 100 points. That's just the way that Boudreau does it. Last year, they were unbelievably decimated by injuries, and yet they still, it might have been one of Bruce's best coaching jobs if you think about it. for a team that on the third game, lost Parisi right in training camp, had Granlund hurt the day before training camp, and Granlund come into training camp hurt. Game 3, lose Foligno, Coyle, and Niederreiter, to the point that Niederreiter wound up playing hurt all year, and Coyle missed a month from there. And then obviously you don't get Boudreau, you don't get Parisi back until the new year, and then all of a sudden you lose Suter, you lose Spurgeon, and you lose Parisi in the playoffs. So I mean, for him to do the job that he did last year, it's a pretty good coaching job.
Let's continue on that theme. I have a thought I want to bring up, bounce off you. I do want to thank Whizkids.tech, WHIZKIDS.tech. They are a Minneapolis company, Minneapolis startup that is doing very well. Michael Thanert is their CEO. He's joined on the network as sponsoring multiple shows, and it's computer stuff, so I have trouble explaining it, so I'm just going to tell you what they say about it. They're a full-spectrum managed service provider. They act as your chief technology ally. They're a crew of close-knit people who love tech. They know a thing or two about closing tickets, monitoring systems, and getting to the heart of the problem. They deal with IT services, unified communications, and cloud services. Check out Whizkids.tech.
Hello, Minnesota sports fans. This is Michael Thanert, founder and CEO of Whizkids. Whizkids is a Minneapolis-based managed IT, hosted VoIP, and cloud services provider. Businesses today require fast response times, skilled support staff, clear communication, and technology recommendations that align with their business goals. At Whizkids, we do this each and every day with our clients. When you call into our help desk for support or work with one of our higher-level engineers on a complex issue, you'll find our staff personable and ready to roll up their sleeves to help you solve your technology problems. Reach out to Whizkids today to find out how we can help your business meet your technology goals. Visit us online at Whizkids.tech. That's Whizkids.tech. Whizkids, make it happen.
So, the interactions I have with Wild fans, they sound very pessimistic right now. And a lot of that is based on, hey, haven't won a cup, don't see a cup in the near future. The flip side of that is, this has been, and I don't want to sound like LaPanta, but I'm going to sound a little like LaPanta here. This has been a very competitive team. It has been a team that has made the playoffs as much as or more as the most Western Conference. So there is a flip side of this. They're not a bad team. They're a frustrating team.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, anybody that reads you in the Strip every day knows how big a shield you are for the Wild.
I'm always here for them.
But yeah, I mean, look, I get it. I think a lot of people expected some bold moves coming into the offseason and feel like, all right, no bold moves were made. So we've all seen the way that this book ends, and it usually ends with a first-round exit. So look, but you're right. I mean, they've been a competitive team. They've made the playoffs 6 years in a row. The hope is that they could do it again and then figure it out, whether it's whether it's in-season trades or just the luck of the draw of burying some of their chances or getting the right opponent in the playoffs, and then maybe you can go on a bit of a run here. I know it sounds foolish because they went to the Stanley Cup final, but I still feel that Vegas was absolutely the Wild's best bet in the playoffs. Now that's with Suter in there. When I kept on saying that last year, I never knew that Spurgeon was going to freaking tear his hamstring in half, and that Suter was going to suffer an injury that no professional athlete suffers. So maybe it would have been a first-round exit again. But when the Wild were completely healthy, I still think that that the Wild could have gotten it done in the playoffs and against a better opponent than Vegas. I mean, Winnipeg, let's be honest, the Wild were not winning that series even if they were completely healthy. And we saw why. I mean, guys like Scheifele and Byfuglien and Wheeler, these are absolute studs. And the Wild did a good job in that series against the Kyle Connors of the world, and the Nikolai Ehlers was absolutely invisible in the series. But their stars beat them up, and it was because they had guys like Carson Soucy in playing in over his head, and Brodin and Dumba started suddenly getting elevated minutes that they were not used to against that line. I mean, it was just, it was like a lion going after a couple poachers.
No reaction?
Yeah,
no standing ovation for that?
I think everybody fell asleep.
That was unscripted Russo. Hey, that was almost mediocre. That was awesome.
I didn't say it as well. I need Brian to have the microphone here. Brian will get you all laughing. We should have Brian.
There's a microphone right there. Brian can just walk over and pick up the microphone.
We should honestly hire him as like a warm-up act. We get everybody, you see when you go to a talk show, like Fallon or something.
Yeah, but you know what you have to be really careful with? You ever go to a show, like a concert, and the first band goes out and they kill it, and then the headliner comes on and you're like, oh, crap. Oh, man, let's beat traffic, honey. Let's go.
So I have a friend that's going to OAR tonight in Raleigh, and it's apparently storming in Raleigh, and he wants me to ask my quote-unquote sources if the concert's going to happen, and he will not.
Sounds like a reasonable request.
Yeah. So, I mean, should I send the bass player a text and ask for him real quick?
Yes,
you know
should do
Benji,
that.
right?
Yeah,
oh, no,
I've met him. I can't say I know him.
Okay.
Back to hockey, if we may. We've touched on the Dumba and Zucker deals.
I've had way too much coffee. I need like a water like you can't even imagine.
No, you mean like a hose?
Yeah.
We've touched on the Dumba and Zucker deals, but let's wrap it up in kind of one package here. Now that both deals are done and we know what they are, tell me what you think of them.
So I was walking here real quick. I didn't hear any of what you just said.
Yeah, I know.
But I was
when do you ever?
So I spent all afternoon at Starbucks writing my mailbag, and then so I'm thinking to myself as I'm walking past Starbucks a second time, I'm like debating: do I get another Americano? Do I get another Americano? And I decided no, I'm going to be smart, not give myself a heart attack. But then I couldn't get out of my head that I didn't get that Americano, so I stopped at Whole Foods and got an Americano. And I'm telling you that this Americano is like spiked with like something.
Coffee?
Probably. A little too much. Today was double star days too, so yeah, it was I had a good day at Starbucks, actually, about 50 stars. So what was the question about Dumba?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't. Can you buy a casket with all your points?
Yes. We should get like a funeral parlor to sponsor us, don't you think?
Yes, absolutely. You could wear the shirt around. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was asking.
Thanks.
He's not paying attention.
I didn't know I had to get some napkins for Vicky.
Dumba and Zucker.
Yeah.
Tell me about the deals.
Didn't we talk about that?
Well, we kind of talked about it here and there. We didn't really get deep into the Zucker. I didn't think so. Now that
we never actually mentioned Zucker last. It was like the day that Zucker signed was like the day of our last podcast or something. So we never actually
we kind of missed it. So now's your chance.
The Zucker deal. I mean, actually, look, he got more than market value. He was asking for 6 something. So when he signed for 5.5, I think a lot of people were pleasantly surprised. But for the market for him was actually was the $5 million that Marchessault signed and the $5.25 that JT Miller signed. And so that was the market. So the Wild, all these people were like ripping on me on Twitter. You said that he had them by the you-know-what. And I'm like, he got $500,000 more than market value still. Where I was saying to you, where it was becoming a problem, is that he wanted 6.5, and with Granlund at 5.75, and a year from potentially being extended, they did not want to go higher than Granlund. Or all of a sudden, what will Granlund ask if he has another huge year? Remember, nobody on this Wild team has more points than Granlund the last 2 seasons. So it's a good deal for Zucker. It puts him in a position where he's secure. It gives him also a little bit of control with his no-trade clause, the final 4 years of the contract. And by the way, a lot of people have asked me why didn't he not get one the first year, thinking that the Wild are going to try to trade him and that put that in there purposely. Now, they could still trade him, no doubt, but you can't get no trade or no moves anytime, whether modified or full, unless it's your UFA eligible. And his UFA eligible years, remember, he was a year from being a UFA, so he could not get one in year 1, but he could years 2 to 5. And Dumba we've talked about. I don't want to make Vicky upset, so we won't talk Dumba. Alec?
Fire away, Alec. Don't make Vicky mad.
What determines a player's market as a contract?
Right. Well, I mean, a lot of it's age, a lot of it's years of service, a lot of it is point production in those years before. Every GM has comparables, and every agent has comparables, and they're usually way different. And then they come together, and that's why arbitration sometimes is a big tool. And in the Wild case, with Zucker, one being a year from unrestricted free agent, he would have gotten a 1-year award, and then you would never have gotten him back. He would have just said, "To hell with you guys, I'll just become a free agent next summer." Where the other thing is, on a 1-year award, they didn't know really where a guy like Zucker, goal scorers get paid in arbitration, and he has 55 goals the last 2 years, and they just didn't know where that would wind up. Especially because a guy like Granlund, say, has 5.75 right now, and he doesn't score, at least goal-wise, as much as Zucker. So they just were, I think, a little concerned on where it was. So they get him on a long-term deal here and some security here. Where Dumba, That was Shep Harder really doing his due diligence to seeing where this market's potentially going here the next 2 years with a boatload of really quality 1-2 defensemen that are going to be needing new contracts. And so, they felt that if they didn't go in a position with Dumbo where they gave him $6 million, that if he continued on the path that he was on here the last couple of years, scoring double-digit goals here the last 3 years in a row, that all of a sudden they could be looking at a $7.5 million hockey player in the when he's become his free agent eligible years in a couple of years. So
thanks, Alec. Ken's up next. I want to tell you again, we're live at Dulono's Pizza, downtown Minneapolis, 118 North 4th Street. Of course, we like it when you come out to our shows, but come by anytime for lunch, dinner, happy hour, drinks, late night. They have a lot of big screen TVs. 118 North 4th Street, so it's walking distance to Target Field, Target Center, for concerts, sporting events, and there's a lot of parking here. There's street parking. I had an easy time finding street parking today. There's a big lot just south of Dulono's, and there's Ramp C, close walking distance as well. I also want to tell you about FixologyRepair.com. John Hedges is here today, as he is with most of our shows. FixologyRepair.com, close by here in the Skyway, just south of the Wells Fargo Center, across from Dunn Brothers and Taco John's. Also, in the Mall of America, 3rd floor, right by Nordstrom's.
There are some things in life that you just can't live without. Now, whether it's a special piece of jewelry, a watch, or even your smartphone, you want it in working condition. At Fixology Repair, we are committed to restoring your pieces so that everything works or fits the way it ought to. Watch servicing, chain repair, and broken screen replacements are just a few of the services that we offer at our 2 locations, Mall of America and the Skyway in downtown Minneapolis. Please visit us at FixologyRepair.com or at FixologyMN on Twitter to learn more. Mention this ad and get a 10% discount on our services.
Ken, did you have a question for us? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were lining up for us. You always have a question.
It's the dog.
You're a barrister. You always have a question.
It's the dog days of summer, so is there anything interesting you can tell us?
I think you should interrogate Jim Souhan the way that Rick Gates was interrogated today, cross-examined. What do you think?
I'll just hand you my wallet. We'll cut to the chase here. We do have some Twitter questions. We'll go that way again. Anybody who wants to ask a question live, feel free. MJ, our friend who also comes to the Cheryl Reeve Show a lot, she meant to make it here today. She said, let's ask Michael where he buys his underwear, because I know Jim buys his underwear at Twill. Let's make Michael really uncomfortable.
Yeah, really. Yeah, let's not.
Okay. Actually, she had a serious question. Is the Athletic evolving into what you envisioned it to be?
Oh my God! We're having a 1-year birthday bash actually right here on September 7th at 6 p.m. Pizza and beer included. And I was sitting at the same Starbucks that I wrote last year's inaugural post, and I was reading it over again. And I was really blown away about a lot of the things that were promised in there and how it's really become what I thought it was what I envisioned. And that was when I was alone on the island and we didn't even have an editor. And now all of a sudden we have 4 other full-time reporters here, and we cover all the professional sports in town, including women's sports. And we're about to have another full-time hire here that we're going to announce here in the next month that we're really excited about. And or at least it's going that way. And we have an army of freelancers that has been absolutely sensational. And I can't believe where the Athletic has gone, not just here in Minnesota. I just remember being so stressed in the month of August. It was August 2nd last year that I had my first conversation with Alex Mather, and I never envisioned that we were going to be in all the markets that we are in. It's just crazy. And we're about to have full-time hockey writers in every market. There's definitely no better place to read national hockey coverage, both Canada and the U.S. and the Athletic. So thanks for the commercial, MJ.
From iTodd, our friend who usually comes to the shows, he was trying to make it here tonight, didn't make it, so he sent one from his car. Here's a question I was going to ask you. Are there other leagues like the Beauty League around in NHL cities? It's completely unique to here.
No, I mean, even NHL Network, Alex Tenga was here on Monday. I went to that, and it was a really awesome show. And again, I mean, they're talking to guys like Jake Gardner and Alex Goligoski and Anders Lee. I mean, there's no U.S. city on the planet in one city that has the amount of professional hockey players that this place has. So this was a brilliant idea by Ben Hankinson and his staff at Octagon, and what they've turned this into in the last 3 years that it's been going on is absolutely spectacular. On a Monday night, the other night, it's just absolutely jam-packed. They stream every game now. Social media started by his team, started by Aaron, and his team there has been absolutely amazing. And it's every time I go, I just can't believe it. And the players genuinely love it. Like, I hung out in the kind of innards of the arena the other day and listening to when guys like Letty and these guys showed up, and them, the banter back and forth, they absolutely get into it. They're talking about the rosters of each team, and it's been really cool.
Brian, you're not going to ask Michael Russo a question? I mean, don't be intimidated.
Yeah, Brian.
Come on.
Brian went to... It's the quietest I've ever heard Brian. So Brian was on our Italy trip with everybody over at that table, and Clyde and Vicky. And so Brian was absolutely, and his lovely wife Karen was the perfect complement to Andy and Claudine, as everybody knows by now. And it was just a really fun trip. Brian had me howling. What's amazing about Brian and his sense of humor is that, you know how like most people and Brian's really showing it right now, isn't he? But when most people they'll drop a couple sarcastic barbs on the first day and you laugh, and then by day 8 or 9 it gets old. It never gets old with he and his wife.
I know.
And they
I've
go
had that
at
experience.
And they go at each other. I mean, it's pretty fun. We had a really wonderful conversation about Karen trying to kill Brian the entire trip, and it just never became unfunny.
I'm just letting the laughter die down.
Yeah. There was also actually one really unbelievable moment where the whole time we're in Cinque Terre, we're talking about how Karen's going to throw Brian off into the Mediterranean Sea. And so Brian and I decide to kind of leave the group, and we're walking ahead of anybody. And Brian is looking up for where the rest of the group is, and almost fell over into the Mediterranean Sea. And I was thinking to myself, I would have been blamed. The first thing I looked for was cameras to make sure that if this had happened, that I would have been scot-free. But there's a chance that I'd be in an Italian jail right now. So.
Is over-caffeination, can you get off her major crimes in Italy?
Yeah. I would have been like the Amanda Knox of
exactly.
Michael Kenny Defined Destinations crew.
That's a pretty good get right there.
Yeah.
Amanda Knox. I would not have come up with that one. You called yourself Amanda Knox. We need to save that, Brandon. That's pretty good stuff. Yeah. Let's tell you about our last but not least sponsor, Tony Hoaglund, your State Farm agent in Champlin, Hoaglund. He handles my insurance for me. He handles Michael's insurance for him. And he's going to be at an upcoming show holding his fantasy hockey draft. So he is one of us. He will be out here. And I want to bring up something kind of related to something you just said after we tell you about Tony Hoaglund.
Hey, Minnesota sports fans. This is your local State Farm agent, Tony Hoaglund. I need you all to ask yourselves this question. If you're in an at-fault car accident and you are sued for $700,000, how much of that $700,000 will my current insurance company pay? If you are unsure or can't answer all $700,000, you need to give us a call. State Farm has been number one in car insurance since World War II and number one in homeowners insurance since 1964. For a no-obligation review of your current policies, call us at 763-421-4900 or check out our website at www.champlininsurance.com.
So back to the Beauty League.
That was subtle.
And this setting and all the people who come out to see the live shows and everything else. I will say, having been all over the country, covered different sports, this is unique, and like every NFL city, the fan base thinks it's the biggest deal in the world, and Viking fans are very passionate. I don't know how many places you have the level of passion, the number of people who are that impassioned about the local sport, and who also are incredibly knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of football fans who love football and really don't know much about the game. They just like the spectacle. Hockey fans in Minnesota know everything.
Well, that's why I was so intimidated coming here, is that not only am I from here, but 13 years ago, I'm like, how am I going to be accepted as kind of a Floridian/New Yorker coming to Minnesota to cover hockey? And I'm sure, look, my expertise in hockey is just being around it, covering 2,000 NHL games, but I never played competitively like Andy over there. And so, it's like one of those things where it is the unique part of being here. And as I wrote in that first story last year for The Athletic, it's an absolute privilege being a hockey writer here, But I do think that that's just something about this area is everybody's played the game, watched the game, loves the game. And as long as you have passion about the game, I think that fans will accept you here. And so, where maybe I can't play it the way that other people can, I can absolutely have a passion for it. And I think that's what a lot of fans, really liked about the writing.
From Barbara Tabin, are you behaving? She wants to know if you're behaving.
Yes, I'm behaving.
Okay, that's Russo's mom, for anybody who doesn't know. By the way, how's Oliver?
Oliver's doing well.
Good.
Yep. He doesn't like to go outside anymore.
I can't blame him.
And see other dogs. But if you don't know, my mom's dog got attacked by another dog, a really ferocious Yorkie.
Did you just say ferocious Yorkie?
I got so long without pissing off my mother in this podcast. I just
ferocious Yorkie.
So, I'm not kidding you when she... Brandon, I think you're going to have to edit.
No. Do not edit this. Do not edit a second of this. Move this up to the front. This will be the lead.
I'm not kidding you. When she told me it was a Yorkie, I had to Google the picture to make sure it's what I thought it was.
I know people have had Yorkies, and they're about the size of my hand, and they're pretty fluffy. Do you want to try to save yourself at all at this point?
No, I'm just thinking about just envisioning. It's not funny.
It's not funny.
I mean, my mother...
It's absolutely not funny, everybody.
My mother looked like she had carried like a gunshot victim into the hospital, but the Yorkie was apparently... It was apparently like in a stroller when this happened. Oh man, am I alive?
You're dead.
So to answer my mother's question, no, I'm not behaving.
No, you're not. It's over.
Oh man.
There are times I will edit stuff out to save your job, but I ain't not. You're just gonna have to ride with this.
Yeah, she is going to
man.
absolutely kill me.
Oh, good Lord.
She got pissed with me yesterday because I wrote somebody back on Twitter that was extending their membership at The Athletic. He basically asked me a question, and I said, well, my mother figured it out. It should be pretty easy, and she got really offended at that one. So, but that one was a joke. Oh, man, we're going to have to not publish this podcast.
Oh, we're publishing. My band's always looking for a new name.
Yeah.
Ferocious Yorkie.
Yeah. Oh, my God. What a great name. Like Trampled by Turtles,
exactly.
Ferocious Yorkie.
Absolutely. All right, I'm going to try to save your life by changing the subject. From Davis Bailey, seems you think Greenway's a lock for the team, barring a poor camp. Does that mean Cunnin, if healthy, is a lock for Iowa and a call-up as injuries dictate? How do you see him developing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little surprised that Greenway, that at least Fenton and Boudreau keep on talking to him like he's a lock to make the team. And obviously, a lot of it's going to have to depend on how Greenway performs in training camp. But they keep on talking to him like he's on it. And I still always believe that somebody should get at least 1 minute of minor league hockey before becoming an NHLer, unless you're a guaranteed sure thing prospect, which I don't think Greenway has proven yet. But Greenway, Boudreau loved his game down the stretch. Thought he got better as the game went on. Thought in the playoffs he was one of their, if not the best forward. And so they're talking about like he was on. So to answer Davis's other part of the question, it was Davis, right? I think so.
We'll find that.
But anyway,
scrolled away.
Whoever asked that. But Cunnin, I just think that because he's coming off a torn ACL, like he's going to have to really come into camp and prove himself. But Dan Myers was in Madison today with Suter, and on the ice in Madison at the University of Wisconsin's arena, there was Cunnin. And so he's way ahead of schedule. I mean, this is a guy that, remember, he didn't have his torn ACL surgery until like a month, more than 5 weeks after he originally tore his ACL at the beginning of March. So we're talking not long ago, but that's one reason why the doctors held off doing the surgery, is that they really feel with torn ACL surgeries now, if you can give the knee a chance to strengthen back up, it'll accelerate your process in terms of your recovery time. So Cunnin is going to come in ready to make the team, and I put nothing past that kid also. I mean, there's a reason why this guy was the national team's captain for as long as he was.
That question was from Davis. Alec, you got one for us? Nice shirt, by the way. Thanks for representing.
At their point of their careers, would you rather prefer Hendricks over Reed, or would you?
I mean, that's a good question. I got to see Reed in camp, but you're right. I mean, Hendricks is somebody that he makes the league minimum. So if Reed comes in and blows him out, I mean, you make a good point. Hendricks very well could slide through waivers and wind up in Iowa. I don't think he'd love it, but such is life. He put himself in this position to sign this type of contract. So if Reed comes in and shows that he can play and that can score, and he's not going to be the 13th forward. I mean, for Reed to make the team, to me, he's got to be somebody that is going to be in your top 12. Although if he has a great training camp, he's somebody that could, at a cheap contract, be taken right off waivers as well. So we'll see. We're talking like Hendricks because he's the veteran, and Boudreaux wants him badly. But if Reed comes into camp and there's no injuries and they got to make a roster decision, absolutely they'd keep Reed if there's a chance they could lose him.
Good question. Thanks, Alec.
Great question, actually.
Yes, thank you.
Just blew my mind. It's something I didn't even think about.
Hey, kind of different direction here. I know you're a big Trampled by Turtles fan.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend and I are going to go see them at the State Fair.
Nice, I'll be there.
I've never actually heard any of their music before, so I was wondering if you had a suggestion on what album I should listen to first.
I would actually just go on Spotify, just listen to Trampled by Turtles on shuffle and just listen to it, and you'll love it. But I mean, songs-wise, Victory and Winners that are on our podcast to start and finish. I was listening to Walt Whitman today. I just listened to his cover by the Tom Petty cover, Wildflowers, which you would absolutely love, Jim.
I do.
Along with Midnight on the Interstate. I mean, those are kind of the hits. So, I would definitely listen to those. But in terms of albums, I mean, Palomino, I just like them all. So
go listen to all of them right now is what he's saying. Yes. Thanks for being here. We appreciate it. Yes, sir?
Yeah. About 5 players last year seem to have really good years. So many of the Wild players seem to struggle a little bit last year. Do you think they're due, a lot of the people who struggled last year, to kind of come back to the mean a little bit and have better years? Coyle, Niederreiter, so on and so forth?
Well, I definitely think those two have better years. And look, I think that they're in a position where, it's not necessarily Niederreiter, but Coyle, it's put up or shut up time. And I wrote on my mailbag today that Coyle reminds me a lot of somebody that I covered early in my career named Rob Niedermeyer. And Robbie, everybody wanted him to. Robbie is, in a lot of ways, was a hybrid, played wing and center, was Coyle's size. He was a lefty as opposed to a righty, but everybody thought that he should be this superstar offensive guy, and he did score 26 goals in 96. Perfect timing for a contract year, by the way. He got a lot of money on his next contract. But suddenly he realized that he couldn't score, or somebody realized for him that he was not going to be a scorer at the NHL level. And if you look at Coyle's history, he's never been a scorer at any level. And so there just comes a point where Robbie started to realize, you know what, I'm just going to try to become the best checking forward in the NHL. And he became one of the best checking forwards in the NHL. He was traded to Anaheim. Brian Murray sat him down and said, look, this is your role now. And he became a huge mainstay on a team that went to the Stanley Cup Final in 2003, and he won it in 2007. And I think Coyle's at that point here where he's just got to say, you know what, I'm going to just embrace a role on this Eriksson Ek, Niederreiter line or whatever line, and just be an absolute shutdown guy who maybe once in a while scores some goals. And I think all Wild fans kind of need to accept that. If he does that job, he's doing his job, especially at $3-something million now. I mean, now he's at a position where money-wise, he's not being paid like he's a scorer anyway. So, he's the one guy to me that was the biggest disappointment last year. I mean, Niederreiter still almost scored 20 goals on a ankle that was just a mess all year long. I mean, I was thinking today, I think I mentioned I'm going to Cancun Friday. Well, when I went to Cancun last year, coincidentally, Coyle, Riley, Niederreiter, all these guys were on my flight going down there, and Niederreiter sat right in front of me. Niederreiter and we were in first class. Coyle and Riley were in the back. Just pointing that out. But Niederreiter sat right in front of me, and I just remember walking with him to badge claim with 2 of his buddies and just watching him walk, and I'm just like, oh my God, you're really going to be able to come back in a couple days? Remember, he was supposed to originally come back right after the bye, and then all of a sudden we didn't see him again. He was really struggling on the flight back and had the secondary MRI, and it turned out that all this time that he thought he had a bone bruise, he really had a freaking broken fibula. Remember, he comes back on that broken fibula, and he scores a hat trick against, what was it, Buffalo or somebody, on like January 2nd. And then we go to Colorado on the second of a back-to-back. He really was laboring that day. I remember him walking into the arena. He was laboring, and we didn't see him again until he came back in early February. So I think it's kind of unfair to really pin him on having this bad year. But man, they need them both to be much, much better. And so, yeah, I mean, I would agree with you. There were only, last year, there were a lot of guys that didn't have great years. And so you got to expect that a lot of these guys are going to come back and be better this year. And then you hope the guys that had really good years, the Zuckers, the Stahls, arguably Dumba, who else? Granlund, second half, Suter, that these guys don't come back to the pack.
Good question. Thank you. Appreciate it. We're looking at the big windows at Dulono's.
Finally, Vicky.
Downtown Minneapolis, 118 North 4th Street. Again, $12.99. Pretty much all-you-can-eat buffet that Michael has enjoyed. Great happy hour, great pizza, large delivery service. Check out Dulono'sPizza.com. Vicky.
Any chance we can get rid of that dog stuff?
No.
Brandon?
No.
No chance.
That's going to be its own show. We're going to separate that out. We're going to franchise it.
Holy hell, am I in deep trouble.
Oh, yeah. We're going to get Barbara on the air next week.
She is going to be so pissed.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, and she really is. I mean, we're not joking. She's going to kill Michael.
Yeah.
It's going to be hilarious.
It won't be pretty.
No.
So I see Fenton hired his son. Is that a good thing?
Well, I mean, his son was scouting for the Oilers, and I think a lot of people that know him say he's a good hockey guy. But I mean, that's the way it works. A lot of great teams in this league were built on the backs of family members or buddies being together. And, I mean, every organization in the league, I mean, let's be honest. If Fletcher goes to Seattle, we know everybody that's going to be in that front office. And whether it's his, Chuck, who was the son of Cliff Fletcher, or is the son of Cliff Fletcher, I mean, that's how he kind of got his start because of the name. David Poyle, one of the best GMs in the league, son of Bud Poyle. I mean, that has gone on and on and on in the history of the league. So him hiring his son as a scout to me was something that was definitely going to happen. And it might be a good move. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, I was
it's
just
all
hoping...
about trust in the front office, and I mean, it really is. You got to know that the guy to the righty is not going to, freaking backstab you or whatever. I mean, it sounds stupid, and they're not fighting wars, but that's the way it is in front offices on and on and on in the history of the world, right, Jim? I mean, that you need to trust the guys that you're working with.
I'm a little worried about the guy to my right, but
exactly.
We'll get past that.
I've had plenty of times to just put a shiv in his back, but I just continue to.
But I'm a fast healer.
Yeah.
I get off the DL real fast after he does that to me.
One more thing.
Yes.
Does Fenton like Bruce?
I mean, I think so. Yeah. I mean, but
kind of
again,
hard not to like Bruce.
Yeah.
Isn't
I mean,
it?
but again, I mean, it doesn't mean that he won't fire Bruce. I mean, who's it? Brian Burke's one of the best buddies with Bob Hartley, but canned them eventually in Calgary. I mean, that's just the world that we live in. And look, when you're a new GM and you're coming in and you're inheriting a coach, usually, I mean, all coaches are. I mean, Chuck Fletcher's here or any name GM here. Let me promise you, Bruce Boucher will be fired from the Minnesota Wild someday. Just might be next year or 5 years from now. I mean, that's just the way life works in hockey.
Thanks, Vicky.
Okay, thanks for the beer.
Thanks. Yes, sir.
DJ, nice to meet you.
Hi. So my question for you, the Wild has always been like a playoff contender, always be in the middle of the pack every year, but not quite up to that elite status to Stanley Cup contender.
Mm-hmm.
So question for you is, what's the Wild's biggest need to be a Stanley Cup contender?
Well,
thanks, DJ.
That's kind of why I thought that it was just time that they were going to make some core altering move, because I just think that there just comes a point where they've put all these recipes into a bin, shook it up, whatever, English, and this is what's come out of it, and it hasn't worked. So that would be the hard answer, but the easy answer. I mean, if that is the answer, if that is what they determine at the end of the day, it's going to be a long road to rebuild this team. Because they've, as I've always said, on and on and on, they made their bed with this core. And now everybody in this core has gotten paid. Everybody. Now that Zucker and Dumba got it. So they all have gotten their money now. Now freaking do it. And they so far haven't proven that they can do it. So, and in terms of actual specific needs, on this specific team, look, they need a right shot, right wing that can play top 6 minutes. They don't have that right now. So that's where Bruce is a little bit out of a loss, whether he puts Niederreiter in that position, Greenway playing his offside in that position. Maybe Cunnin can make the team and play there, and you move Coyle up. We'll see. But in terms of overall, globally, where this team could become a contender, I just have trouble believing that this core as a group, which we have all now watched for now 7 years, essentially 6-7 years, whether or not they're just going to all of a sudden magically, with a snap of the fingers, go out and be able to beat these big teams in the Western Conference. Maybe I'm wrong, but this is kind of why I say that we've all seen the way that this movie ends.
Good question. Thank you, DJ. Thanks
Sorry
for being
to
here.
disappoint you all, but thanks for coming.
Yes, sir. I've heard so much about you. Now you have this high bar.
Oh my God! Look who's up.
I've been having trouble sleeping since hockey season ended.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if you have any tapes of LaPanta calling games, so I could go to sleep.
One of the funniest things that happened in Italy is one of the 2 days to go, we're in San Gimignano, and we went to that winery, and LaPanta decides that he's going to do play-by-play of a foosball game. And oh my goodness, that you couldn't change the channel, Jim. Or mute it.
I'm just trying to imagine it. And unfortunately, I can't.
Yeah. Oh man, it was funny. Anthony being there.
I've run out of LaPanta jokes. And I'm not going to mention his hair again. So I'm glad Brian brought it up. But yes, here we have another live question. Yes, sir.
So the last couple days, Aaron Rodgers went off. Hard Knocks started last night, and Jarvis Landry went off. Is there anybody in the Wild locker room that goes off on young guys not performing, veterans not performing, guys with their heads up their butts, any of that?
Great question.
Great question. I could definitely see Mikko doing it. And they have their once a year go loco type moments, but look, again, going off is not going to suddenly make this team into a Stanley Cup contender. They don't have Mark Scheifele. They don't have Jamie Benn. I can go team by team if you want.
No, that's okay.
Sorry to disappoint you all again, but that's
disappointing people is what we do here.
Yeah. But by the way, I can't even remember whoever was asked also what this team needs. The other thing DJ. The other thing they need is a freaking star. I've covered this team now for 14 years. They've never had a freaking star. Somebody asked my thing today, don't you think the Wild miss a Brian Ralston? And I'm like, yeah, they miss a lot of things, but they don't. Brian, they don't have that sniper. They don't have a true superstar, a guy that every single night. I remember my first couple of years covering Gaborik. They'd be playing like crap up in Edmonton, and all of a sudden Gaborik would score 2 breakaway goals in 2 minutes. And the Wild don't have players like that. And so that's another thing that this team lacks is the finish. There's a reason why they suck in overtime. There's a reason why they don't win shootouts. Sorry again to disappoint you. That was my final thought. Thanks for coming.
Actually, I was going to set you up for your final thought. Do want to thank Dulono's Pizza once again, Dulono'sPizza.com. Check out, again,
no wonder Ryan didn't come to this show.
No kidding. Thanks to Twill in the Edina Galleria, Whizkids.tech, Fixologyrepair.com, and Tony Hoaglund, Hoglund, if you need insurance. Michael, one more thought without mentioning a Yorkie.
Well, that was what I was thinking. My final thought is I need Brandon to do some magic and at least make that less.
No way. Not if you want to stay employed. It's over for you, buddy. It's over for you. You're going to have to
I don't know why I laughed so hard. I was just thinking of the Yorkie and the stroller. But Apparently that was a vicious dog. Wow. It's out there, huh?
Let's see. Is it
Jerry
out there?
Zagoda.
Ooh, we have some Star Tribune news. Our friend Jerry Zagoda is coming off the Timberwolves beat, but I can't get my computer to boot up fast enough to tell you what the actual news is. But we'll leave that to people. I'm sure we'll have something in the paper tomorrow.
I know who the new beat writer is. Not going to tell you though, unless it's out there.
Don't think we have that yet.
Should I scoop the strib?
It's your call. Yeah.
No, I'm not going to scoop the strib. I'm not going to scoop the strib.
You're a reporter.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm returning the Star Tribune to cover the Wolves.
All right.
That's my final thought.
Unless you combine the words ferocious Yorkie and stroller again, I think that's the best
I
we can
will
do.
absolutely. Let me promise everybody here, it's just going to be our inside joke because we all know nobody listens to the podcast, that at some point in a wild gamer next year, I will use the term ferocious Yorkie.
Pretty little city built on a hillside. Music in the bars and fire in the sky. We went to the beach and it was covered in ice. And I used to call it home. So much coming out, there's nothing going in. I know that you feel like you're never gonna win. Oh, but the world won't forgive a winner.
At Metro, the best deal in wireless is on. Switch to Metro and get one full Amazon Prime membership included every month. Plus, get 2 free phones from top brands like Samsung and LG with huge HD screens. All with 2 lines for just $90. That's the best deal in wireless, only at Metro. Plus sales tax and activation fee. Requires port-in of eligible number not currently active on T-Mobile network or active on Metro in past 90 days. Limit 4 per account or household. Offer subject to change. Offer valid for new Amazon Prime members. Amazon Prime has a $12.99 per month value. Restrictions apply. See store for details and terms and conditions.
Security threats are everywhere. But with Xfinity XFi, you're notified of threats to your in-home Wi-Fi network, so all your connected devices are protected. That's simple, easy, awesome. Go online, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit today. Restrictions apply.